Yesterday I was not able to actually take online plus offline, but now we are attempting to do this. So very quickly, I will revise what we have done yesterday. Yesterday we started with learning what is the web technology lab, which are the different term works that we have discussed yesterday. Okay, so where was that? Yeah, this one. So we discussed yesterday about the different term works that we have in web technology lab. The first 5 I said that it is based on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The first 4. The 5th one is based on, where is that? Yeah, this is the one. This is the syllabus for web technology lab. The first 4, 1 to 4, is based on completely JavaScript, and these programs we have already written. So I'll just quickly show the demonstration of where we have written the programs. The first 4 term works, you all know that I can write it anywhere. I can write it in a folder somewhere in the D drive. In my personal folder, I can save this. But the remaining from 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, these are based on PHP. So for this, I have to install WAMP server on my machine, and then I have to execute it. The starting 4 programs, we have written it in, where did you write it? On the desktop? Huh? Yeah, it was on the desktop. Yesterday we have written on the desktop. Where was that? Web Lab. Yeah, there it is, Web Lab, correct. And these were the 4 term works that we wrote yesterday. The first term work, simply you have to type the program in Notepad or Sublime Text, whichever text editor you have, which you are comfortable with. Type the program like this, very simple. And then after that, to run the program, you have to simply double click on that, and then you have to simply execute. What is the first term work? The first term is quite simple. We have one text box here, then we have a combo box for the operator, and then we have another text box. Then we have the button here, which should calculate the content of the first text box, operator, and the second. For example, if I write 3 here and write star 3 is equals to, it should display me 9. Similarly, if I say 3 minus 3 is equals to 0, and so on. So this is the first term work we saw yesterday. The program is also quite there. I'm going to give it to everybody. The second term work is very simple. It is to display the square of a number and the cube of a number starting from 0 to 10. Okay, so the number is 0, the square of 0 is 0, the cube of 0 is 0. Similarly, the second number is 1, a square of 1 is 1, and the cube of 1 is 1, and so on till 10. That's it. So it has to just display you. And the program for this, if I open this with Notepad or Sublime Text, then you will be able to see. Very small program, very simple program. We take a while loop here, or we take a for loop here, and display I first, the number, then the square of that number, and the cube of that number. Very simple. Then after that, the third term work we will discuss. This I have already explained yesterday, but then very quickly I'm zooming through this. If I double click this and open it, now this is, yeah, there is somebody who's chatting. Yeah, good morning. Yeah, good morning, Priya. Yeah, the third term work is based on JavaScript and CSS, where we increase the font size. We have to just click on this button over here, and then it slowly increases the size of the font till it becomes 50, and then it shrinks it. That's it. So this is how the output of the program should be. If I click on this button, it would start increasing the font size, and then after reaching 50 size, it should start shrinking back again. It should shrink back again. So this is the third term work. And the code for this, if you want to see, you have to simply right click on this and say open with a Sublime Text, then you'll be able to see this code. So that's it. This is the code for the third term work. Fourth term work, I go to, yeah, this is easy. So let us say if I type NAVEED, Naveed, it will give me the position of the leftmost vowel, the position of the leftmost vowel. So in this word here, Naveed, A is the leftmost vowel. If I click on show, it will show me the leftmost vowel position is at 2. And the second part of this program is, if I enter some number here, it will give me the reverse of that number. So the reverse of that number which I've entered here is 75546. 75546. So this is the fourth term work. All these term works, you know that it is based on JavaScript and HTML, simple JavaScript and HTML. Okay. Now I leave it to you people to go through the program and try to understand the logic. Logics are very, very simple. Okay. It is all self-explanatory, starting from the first program of of displaying the calculator, then displaying the square and cube of the number, then after that displaying shrinking and expanding the size of the text and shrinking the size of the text. And then finally, this logic is also quite simple. We take a loop through all the characters and check if it is a vowel, and then we will come to know what is the position of the vowel, which is at the leftmost position. Okay, and then this is about palindrome program you must have done. So basically the same concept we have to use it here. I enter a number and then you have to simply do a little calculation and find out what is the reverse of this number. So the reverse of this number is 75546. Any number you put here, I put 4545, then it will display me 5454. Any number you put. Okay, so this is the fourth term work. Now we are going to start with the fifth term. The fifth term work, if we read what is that, the fifth term work is design an XML document to store information about a student in an engineering college to VTU. The information must include USN number, name of the college, branch, year of joining, and email ID. These are the fields that have to be stored in an XML document. Make up sample data for 3 students. For 3 students, you have to collect this data. In the sense, you have to write an XML file and then create a CSS style and use it to display the document. Now, this fifth term work of yours is based on 2 technologies. One is CSS and the other one is XML. First of all, let me explain to you people what is the meaning of XML. XML is a data format. It is a data format. Remember, it is not a programming language, nor it is a scripting language. It is a format of a data. You all know, in a database, if I have to store data of students, which will take information like what is the name of the student, what is the USN number of the student, what is the name of the college, what is the branch, the year of joining, and email ID. If I want to store this in a table in a database, how many columns that table we have? Name of the college, 1 column I need, USN number, college name, date of joining, and email ID. So these are the 5 columns that will be there in my table. Okay, 5 columns. I will make it simple. I will take Excel file. So first of all, student name, USN, college name, then branch, then year of joining, then email ID. So basically these are the things that I need for my database, and they are saying that I have to create this for 3 students. So first I will write the student name. Let me write it as Guru. What's the USN number? 2mm 17 CS 013. College name MMEC. So I'll just try to make this a little big like this so that it is all MMEC. Branch is CSE. Year of joining is 2017, and email, let us say I write guru@gmail.com. Okay, so I have this for the first student. Similarly, I will write this Sachin 2mm 17 CS 029. MMEC CSE 2017, and then Sachin@gmail.com. So this is the details of the second student. Similarly, I will write, let us say, Viru 17 CS 040. Okay, and then MMEC CSE 2017, and then I write. Okay, so these are the details of the 3 students. Now, this is how it will appear in a database. You all know that this is how it will appear in a database. If I want to create a table in the database and store information about 3 students, you will create a table called as student, and then you will add these three columns inside it. Sorry, these are the three records, tuples that you will enter into this. I can represent this same data, which is in the form of a table, into XML. I can represent the same data, which is in the form of a table, into an XML format. What is XML? XML is a format to represent your data. If I want to represent this same data in the form of XML, this is what I do. I open Notepad. I open some text editor, and then I start typing I'll just try to make the font size a little small. Okay. And then I will convert this data of 3 students into Excel format. Just have a look at this. Just pay attention. Students tag, student, USN, Extras, college name, then branch, year of join, after that, similarly, this is for one student. This is for the student Guru. I will create one more for the next student, Sachin. So I'll have to just change this. How much is yours? 29, no? 29. All this is same. Only thing I have to change it here. And similarly, I have to do this for one more student. Zero 40, no? Okay. And here I write down the email ID of that user. And then finally, look at this. I have the details of the 3 students slash student. Now remember, the root node is students, and I close the root node here. I close the root node here, students. And each student, I'm putting it into a student node. Now you will be supposed to see what are these tags. These tags are not in HTML. These tags are not in HTML. In HTML, we have seen tags like the P tag, the BR tag, the image tag, the table tag, and all that. But these are S name, USN, college name, year of join. What are these tags? Remember, XML is a technology which is actually used for formatting the data. Data which is there in the form of a table, now can be represented as an XML format. And if I want to format tabular data in the form of XML, I can define my own tags. In HTML, we have predefined tags. You cannot have your own tags in HTML. If there is a P tag there, there is a P tag there. You cannot change its name. If there is a BR tag there, there has to be a BR tag there. You cannot create your own tag to go to the next line, because there in HTML, the BR tag will cause new line character. If I want to place an image in HTML, there is an image tag. You cannot say, I will have some other tag for the image. No, because tags in HTML are predefined. You have to use it. But in XML, you can create your own tags. Now remember, the browser understands HTML tags. The moment the H1 tag comes, the browser knows that it has to display it in big and bold heading. If it sees the image tag, it knows an image has to be placed. Browser will not understand your XML tags. Browser will not understand your XML tags. This is only a way to represent your tabular data in the form of XML. Then you will ask me a question, sir. The question is, why do we have to represent the data in the form of XML? What is the use of XML? The first thing that will come to your mind is, so why do we have to represent the data in the form of XML? Why tags has to be used? Remember, one of the most important applications of XML is to transfer data from one place to another place. If I have to shift an entire database from the server to the client, how do I shift it here? So that the client can receive it in the form of tabular data only. I represent on the server, I take the tabular data, I convert it into XML, and then I send the data to the client here. And then the data is received by the client, and the client can use it however he or she wants to use it. One of the most important applications of XML is to transfer data from one place to the other place. So that's why sometimes XML is also called as a floating database. It is called as a floating database. You know, XML is sometimes called as a floating database. Floating database means what? Something that moves from one place to another place. So whenever I have to share data from one application to another application, I convert that data into XML and then I send it to the other application. Because on the other application, it becomes easy for that application to access the data and to retrieve the data from it in the form of tables. Why do we have to finally convert it into XML? To share data between two applications or a source and destination. From a source to destination, between two places, if I want to share data, I have to convert that to XML. It becomes easy for sharing the data. You understood this part? Okay, so that's why we use XML. Now we will understand XML into more detail later on when we start with the theory. Right now, for the fifth term work, you have to create an XML document like that. Whenever you type your XML document like that, you have to save it. So when I save it, I will save it on the desktop only. I will save it on the desktop. I will call this as web lab, and I will save it as what? Data.xml. That's right. I have to save it with extension .xml because this is an XML document now. It is an XML document. Is it HTML? It is not HTML. Is it CSS? It is not CSS. It is XML. So I have to save it with extension .xml. So I will save it. Fine. So my XML file is saved. My XML file is saved. So I will close this. So you now understood how to convert a tabular data into XML. What does the fifth term work say is you have to create one XML file with the data of 3 students. Each student's data, what all you have to save? Name of the student, US number, college name, email ID, date of joining, and branch. Basically, these are the details. So you have to create an XML document. Next, you have to create one CSS file. You have to create one CSS file to display this data on the browser in a particular format. Now see what happens if I try to open that file. If I try to open that file directly, see this is the XML file, no? If I try to open this file directly with the browser, see how it appears now. I will show you. Open with, I will say, Chrome is here. I will directly, yeah, this is Chrome. So I will directly pick this up and I'll put it here. Now see how it appears. This is how it appears. This is how, whenever you open an XML file, in the browser, this is how it appears. Okay, I can click on this, I can make it collapsed, I can minimize this, I can minimize the third. So from here, I will come to know that there is a root node called as students. Inside that, there is a first student. If I click on that, it will show me the details of the first student. Then it will show me the details of the second student when I click on this and so on. And I can click on this to collapse everything and then show like this. This is how it appears if I open an XML file from the browser. From the browser, if I open it, this is how it will appear. But I want to display this XML file with a little format. I want to display the names of all the students with the red color. I want to display the US number in blue color. I want to display the branch in black color and so on. I want to format my data and display it on the browser. I don't want to display my XML file like this. I don't want to display it like this. I want to display it with a little style, student name with red color, US number with blue color, and so on. I have to display it like that. So in that case, I use CSS. I use CSS in combination with XML. Now both of them together, see the output, how it looks like. Okay. So I will close this data.xml file. I will minimize this. And what I will do is, I have already written that file. Which is that term work number 5. So you can see this term work number 5.xml. I saved it with extension .xml and the name was data.xml, but I will do one thing now. I will save it like this, tw5.xml. So I will take that entire thing. I'll just copy this. I'll just copy that and I will open web lab here. I pasted that. Okay, so here you can see here there is a little change that I have done here. Nothing much. You can see that instead of XML, I have started with HTML. Then I put a head tag. Then I have put H1 tag. Then students start here. You can see this is what I had written for you people. So the students tag starts student, US number, name, college, branch, year, email ID, and slash. Then one more student starts here, and then all these details. So I hope you understood. These are the details of the 3 students. These are the details of the 3 students. And what is the name of that file? It is data.xml. So I will save this file, save. Now let us go to the other part of the term work, that is the CSS, tw5.css. I have to write this separately. I have to write this separately and I have to save it with extension .css. And then look at the CSS and tell me what all I have written in this. I have said that wherever you see the student tag, apply this style. Wherever you see the USN tag, apply this style. Wherever you see the name tag, apply this style. Wherever you see college style, college name, branch tag, year tag, email tag, apply this style. So I can display the content of the USN tag however I want. Only thing I have to do is that I have to just say color is equals to red, color is equals to blue, whatever color you want to give, you can give it. Now let us see how this appears, okay? So I take this student, this CSS file, I copy that, I say file new, paste it here. So this is my CSS, so I will save it here, file, save, and I will save it. We'll save it on the desktop. In the desktop, I have a folder called as Web Lab. And here I will save it, I will call it as, what is the name? XML, and this is tw5.css. tw5.css, you should know what is the name of that file, because that you have to write it here, tw5.css. Okay, I will come to that. So I will save it here as tw5.css. So now you know, in my web lab, I have 2 files, data.xml and tw5.css. In data.xml, what I have the details of the 3 students. I will open this with a Sublime, so you know that I have details of the 3 students. Students tag starts first student, second student, third student, and all the details of those students. And on the top here, I have to specify, if I want to display this data, please use which style, tw5.css style you use to display this data. Okay, so I think we have done that. Now, I will simply have to right click on this XML file and I have to say open with, or I can open a browser. I can open a browser and drag this and drop it here. Now you see how it appears. What I've requested for data.xml file. I've requested for data.xml file. Before this, without applying the style, how it appeared like that tree. I was clicking, then it was expanding, then it was collapsing, all that. But now you see how you are able to see the output. You are able to see the USN in red color, the name of the student in blue color, the college in brown color, and so on. Why you're able to see the output like this? It's because you have defined style for that. For this data here, okay, for this data here of the 3 students, you have said that wherever there is student coming, please display the color as navy. Let us say the name of the student, let us say the USN number is in red color. I change this red to pink, P-I-N-K, pink. I save the program. I come back to my browser. Now see, you can see it is in red color. No, I will refresh this. When I refresh, you can see that it became a little pink. Now you're not able to see it, but here I can. It's so light that on the projector it is not visible, but it is actually in pink color here. It is actually in pink color. I will change it to some other color. I will make it as teal, T-E-A-L. T-E-A-L is one color. Okay, so I saved it, and then I go here. I refresh. Now you can see that it is in teal color. Okay, it's a little difficult to see, but it is actually in teal color. However you want the data of the tags to be displayed, similarly you have to design and you have to give style in the CSS file. I hope you understood. This is the term work number 5. Very simple. Create an XML file containing details of 3 students, then create a CSS file where you define the style for all the tags separately and then display the data. Simple enough? Okay. So far till here, I don't require a web server. I don't need a web server. I don't need WAMP server. I don't need WAMP server. I directly type the program in Notepad or text editor, and then I double click on the program and I execute it. I don't need anything in the laptop. If I have a Notepad and a browser, I can execute the first 5 term works. But after this, the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th term work, I need a web server, WAMP server. Okay, so let us try to do that now. So I will close all my programs which are here. I'll just keep only all experiments. So I hope you understood all this. This is term work number 1. Term work number 2, that is JavaScript. Term work number 3. Term work number 4. 5, you have 2 files. One is an XML file and the other one is the CSS file. And now the 6th one. The 6th file is a very simple file. What does the 6th term work say? So I will close this now. It is not required. I will not even save it. This was only to explain to you people what is the meaning of XML. I hope you understood what is the meaning of an XML. XML is a format to represent your data. What is the use of XML? To transfer data from one place to another, from one application to another. Basically, that is why we use XML. And sometimes it is called as a floating database. It is called as a floating database because it is an entire data of a table which you can pass from one place to another place. So that's why it is called a floating database. Does it make sense? Okay. Now, for the 6th term work, I have to install WAMP server in my machine. After I have installed WAMP server, then I will copy this PHP file. I'll copy this and I will create a new file, new file. I will paste the PHP code here and I will save this file, save. All this time where I was saving my files, all this time I was saving my files on the desktop. On the desktop I was saving it. Anywhere I wanted I can save it. But now this is the PHP file. And I have told you that in PHP you cannot store it wherever you want. You have to store it in the C drive only, in the WAMP folder. So I can go to the C drive. There is a folder called as WAMP, www, and I can save my files here. If I save my file directly under www, when I open the browser, how to run the file? I have to open the browser and type http://localhost/name of the file. But I'm going to create one more folder inside www. I'm going to create a folder here called as web lab. Inside There is already one web lab here where there is term work 6 and 7 are already there. Good, no problem. So there is already one folder here called as web lab inside www, and there is a folder here, a file here called as tw6. Okay, so I have a file here in PHP. This is the code for term work number 6. File, save. I have to save it in the C drive in a folder called as vamp, in a folder called as www, and then here I will create a new folder called as only web, not web lab, only web, and I will save the file here. I will save it as tw6.php, tw6.php. Okay, now first let me tell you what is this program, what is this term work, what we are supposed to do. I will tell you. If I go back here in the term work number 6, what it says is write a PHP program to keep track of number of visitors visiting the web page and display this count of visitors with proper headings. What it means is you have written a file, a PHP file. How many people are visiting this page? You have to keep a count of that. Every time somebody visits this page, the count has to increase. Every time somebody comes and refreshes that page, the count has to increase. A new person comes and visits this page, it has to display the count of how many people are visiting. The basic idea for this is, it's a very simple logic. I create a text file. I create a text file along with the PHP file. In the text file, I will write the number 0. Every time somebody is accessing the PHP page, I'm opening the text file, I'm taking the number that is there inside it, and I will increment it, and I will write it back to the file and keep it. So let us say I request the file for the first time. The number 0 will get incremented by 1, and 1 will be returned to the text file, and it will be saved. Another person from somewhere will request the PHP file once again. Now what is the content of the text file? It is 1. When he requests it, the content of the file is taken, it is incremented by 1, and then it is written back into the file. From 1, it became 2 now. So every time people are accessing that PHP file, what is the PHP file doing? The PHP file is incrementing the count in the text file and writing it back to the text file. So finally, what we are getting is how many people are visiting that page. I will demonstrate this, you will understand. Okay, so what is the logic? The logic is quite simple. I first display in PHP, refresh the page, then I will open a text file. The name of the file is counter.txt. So I create a new file, file new. I will write the number 0 inside it, and I will save it, file, save. Where I want to save it in the web lab only, and I will call it as counter.txt. Okay, so the name of the file is counter.txt. What is the data in that? 0. And what I am doing here, I am opening the file counter.txt. I am reading the content. I am incrementing it. You can see incremented by 1, and then I will write it back to the file and then display total number of views. Simple. If you go through, once we start learning PHP, then you will understand what is the logic here. Okay, so I will save this program. I will go to my browser. Before I go there, I have to start my WAMP server. So I type WAMP. I say start the WAMP server. So you can see in the corner here, it will start running. And then after it is running, then you can open the browser. And in the browser, now you can type http://localhost. Okay, you can type localhost /web, because there is a folder you have created in the www folder, web /tw6.php. So it's saying that I visited this page for the first time. If I refresh this, 2, 3, 4, every time I'm refreshing the page, it is executing that PHP file. And what is that PHP file doing? It is opening the text file and it is incrementing the count inside the text file, and it is writing it back to the text file. Now let us say somebody from somewhere in the world accesses this page, the PHP is going to execute and it is going to increment the value and write it back to the text file. So basically this file is to count the number of visitors who are visiting your page. Logic is quite simple. In the PHP, if you simply open a text file, read the content of the text file, increment it by 1, display it to the user, and write it back to the text file. That's it. The file is doing only that. The PHP file, if you see, it is doing only that. What is counter.txt? It is a variable that I'm keeping it into here. And then I say file open $name. What is $name? It is counter.txt. So open counter.txt and then read the content of that file is here, read the content of the file using the fscan function and put it into $hits. $hits is the content of the file, 0 or 1 or 2. That number which is there in that file will come in $hits. And then after that, I close the file. And then I do one thing, I increment the hits. Means the number that has come into the variable, I will increment it by 1. After that, I open the file once again in the write mode. And I write the incremented hits back to the file. And then I close the file. And then finally, I display a message. The total number of views is $hits. 3 steps, 3 things I'm doing here. Open the file in read mode, read the content. Increment the count by 1. Open the file once again in write mode, write it back to the file. And then display the hits. 3 steps. So that's the reason when I come here, I refresh this, you can see that every time it is incrementing the count. Now, if you are able to access my machine from your mobile phone, okay, if you access this page of mine, it will show you the views is 26 because it is 25 here already, it will be 26. Somebody else will access that page, it will be 27, it will keep on incrementing. Okay, so this is about term work number 6. So we will stop here now, last 2 minutes remaining in the online class. So I actually, yeah, this is stop sharing and then